And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready here on Esports 7 for the last series of tonight. Hopefully you are excited, and hopefully you are entertained so far, because we are getting ready to have PtitDrogo versus Nerchio in this PvZ coming up on Overgrowth.
I had many of those in a row, so, you know, sort of ended up there with a lot of Protoss plays. Tons of Zergs to start off in this European qualifier. This is of course the last one out of the two that we've run here for the Kung Fu Cup, and this is the final game, or the final series, to determine on who will be advancing on to join Naniwa and Snoot into the round of the 32 of the main event. And you know, once this has been concluded, we'll be having one more American qualifier and one more qualifier for the Southeast Asian region. So any of you guys, you know, down in Australia, make sure to sign up for that.
If it's not too late for them, if they stay up this late to watch.
I don't know what time it is over there.
Yeah, quite late.
Is it?
I think so.
It's
about 12 hours, about 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what, guys? Let's just hop right into the action here in our first map between these two players fighting to advance on here out of the second qualifier of the European Kung Fu Cup. And we have our first player here. He is the red Protoss spawning down in the southern position on Overgrowth. We'll have to see how well can he do this. He is playing for Nuit Blanche, and he is PtitDrogo. And his opponent here in the blue, spawning in the top right on Overgrowth, playing for Team Acer, he is Nerchio.
So, okay, Nerchio not going too well against Naniwa in that last game. You know, trying a lot of different things to survive. I really like the fact that he managed to get such great fungals, to be honest, but in the end, there's really no chance of getting scouted like that when you try for an all-in or cheese. But Drogo now. Drogo. This guy, we kind of underestimated, but he almost beat Snoot.
Yeah, he did. He played, you know, like a really good game on this map, actually.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that he, you know, could have, that you know, he was close in some games and some others. Every game was...
He was playing an equal game.
He was playing an equal game.
But I think the decision-making there for him is really what sort of brought him down.
Lack of scouting and decision-making.
Yeah, because on this map we saw that he had a great opportunity to go just finish the game, but he gave Snoot enough time, sort of in the same way that in that ZVZ we saw on Deadwing. Snoot was playing, what's his name?
Who are you thinking of?
The Zerg. ZVZ there.
Oh, Nerchio versus, you're thinking...
No, that was Snoot.
Oh, you mean Snoot CVZ?
You're really confused now, buddy.
Yeah,
okay,
you're pulling old maps on me, dude.
Let's drop that one, right? But yeah, so anyway, Drogo just struggling with that, and when you give Snoot time...
Oh, you're thinking of sort of?
Yeah, that's the name.
Oh, that's who you're thinking of.
But you know, when you give Snoot time, gets really comfortable, and Drogo dying because of that. Maybe he's learned from his mistakes now, because it is a Zerg once again, and he's back on the same map. So, you know, we'll see if he'll be able to pull something through. Nerchio, of course, a bit different.
Yeah, Nerchio a bit different. I mean, he's no Snoot, but he has a completely different playstyle than Snoot has. So we're going to see if he responds better to that, perhaps. Maybe he won't struggle as much against someone who doesn't go for swarmers. Maybe he's going to have an easy time. Sorry, maybe he's going to have a harder time because Snoot was a bit aggressive at times as well, so Drogo might not be ready for that from Nerchio.
Yeah, you know, we'll have to see. How does he handle it? We have a few of these links swinging in, of course, with a Zealot out. One get expo, nothing crazy, nothing weird. Drogo got the third hatchery on the way. So, for now, it's very standard. But it's sort of, you know, within about 2.5 minutes, where either player really can sort of start grabbing initiative, unless we'd see Nerchio go for like the really crazy slowing thing that we saw Guru try.
Oh yeah,
didn't work out at all, but you know, we'll see. Now Drogo has added 3 more gateways, so he's going to go up to a total of 4, and you know, following suit from Naniwa.
Yeah, and well, Drogo is well, going for 4 gates like this, it's all about getting that initial damage right off the bat. Nerchio, to deal with this, needs to get a Roach Warren. This is absolutely pivotal, but he scouts the first pylon, is going to shut this down, but the Mothership Core...
the second one, man.
But of course, cancel on that, and Mothership Core will deter the Lings. I think Nerchio might just have a hard time against this. He added a lot of drones, he's still adding drones. He thinks this is a fake?
Yeah, he might have, like... He's got no scouting going on so far, so he doesn't know anything about the infrastructure. Either. No, man, this is looking very hard. Now we see the Roach Warren, right, and a bunch of additional Lings, but versus 4 Zealots and a Sentry and a Mothership Core with that Time Warp and Force Field available. It's going to be very hard. Can actually drop that Force Field, trap those 2 Queens, but we have the Spine slowly walking over here with that 3rd Queen. Needs to be very careful about how he engages here. That Spine still not coming into action.
Yeah, right now, Nerchio is holding tight with those Queens, and of course they can kite fairly well until we see those force fields. Drogo, though, still not wanting to give up. He's warped in a lot of units for this. He doesn't want to let Nerchio get away with all these workers, and, well, Nerchio right now is going to be able to add in roaches. More weapons from Drogo. He's not turning back.
He's going to commit to this, and, you know, the setup here is virtually the same for Nerchio as it was there for him when he was playing Nanua on this map, and
he dealt with it really well.
Yeah, he truly did, but still, man,
in the beginning at least.
Yeah, man, Nanua pushing through here, and you know maybe Drogo is going to be able to do the same thing there. The force fields are good. Focus firing that Mothership Core needs to back out of there before it goes down. So gets out in the last second. Spine has fallen. Nothing else to transfuse, and these Queens getting trapped against these force fields. Very nice angling here from Drogo, and these Zealots just doing tons of damage here. The Roaches, though, can kite on creep, but he still needs to be careful to not overextend.
It's all about these force fields right now, Tenshi. If we see the Roaches coming out without getting trapped, he can shut this army down, and then he's going to be so far ahead because of all the warp-ins in vain. But if the 3rd goes down, if he loses the lot of Roaches, that could be detrimental for Nerchio. Right now, Drogo attacking right into Nerchio. More Roaches on the way, though. Lings being produced, and they are he's clearing up everything on the right-hand side, left-hand side. Not really enough DPS to kill the 3rd base. And Nerchio, is he cleaning up Drogo?
He might, but now we see the Protoss realizing, you know, like this 3rd base it should be my focal point, because if he can kill this off and then get out of there, he's going to be in a bit of a better shape, but still, he's taken such heavy losses trying to break down this 3rd base. Well, with a Mothership Core and a single Zealot, if he tries to focus, might pick off it. Yeah, he's going to get this hatchery, no doubt.
Well, are there no transfuses? Oh, no, wait.
The Mothership Core is going to go down! The hatchery stands with 1920 HP, and now Drogo losing so many of those units. We're going to see Nerchio be able to push across the map here, and you know, even though Drogo can use defensive force fields, this is terrible for our Protoss.
Yeah, well, the thing is as well, Nerchio, the rest of the units, yes, they will push across to make sure no 3rd is going to go down for some time. You're going to lose a Sentry or 2 if you try, but also, of course, a lot of workers are going to be made. We're going to see a lot of possibilities come down now from Nerchio, who is even smart enough to add his lair in his natural, harder to scout, probably going to add a lot of tech in the natural as well, so it's not as easy to kill for later as well. Nerchio in a perfect position, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, with this lair, he'll be able to grab some additional tech, can get those units he needs. For instance, Hydralisks. Try to go for a shutdown on this 3rd base. Because of all the gas and stuff that we see invested here from Drogo into this 4 gate, not doing enough damage, killing a lot of units, forcing a lot of units, still going to be very hard, you know, for him to get those responses that you need, like Colossi or Blink with upgrades.
Well, right now, Nerchio, okay, he's going for the transfuse. He's going to check. Very important, of course, to do that he does transfuse that base, because otherwise it's, well, it's very easy to snipe for Drogo. Now, Nerchio, well, let's see what his choice is after this lair, because we do now see... Oh, okay. I know what this is. This is going to be a very quick muta play.
Yeah, rushing up to those 6 gas. Going to be able to churn out quite a lot of those, actually.
It's like the, you know the effort style that we saw from Sort of versus Mafrazzo? This is just about the same without the early game. He's going to move into this very, very mobile Roachling muta play, and you saw how effective it was against Mafrazzo.
Yeah, you know, like, with how this game has progressed, right, this is something that he can go get away with completely unpunished. Does get the scout off, though, here from Drogo. So it's a very nice scout. He sees what's up. you know, be surprised here if he thinks there's going to be anything else but Mutalisks. But there we see big number of Zerglings in production. The question is starting to gear up the gas. I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
That's my fault. Sorry for that. I was just thinking out loud. Bad habits on mine. I'm just thinking, did he really click though? Okay, he did, because he's moving out. Okay, that makes sense. Nerchio though, trying to catch this army moving out on the map.
He does. There is a recall available though. A few force fields do go down, but there we go. Does force that recall, which means no photon overcharge and a lot of energy spent to, you know, virtually use force fields he did not want to be spending at that point.
The blink is being researched in the third base, remember that. And of course, only 2 cannons here. It will help quite a bit, but Nerchio has a very significant army. Using a lot of force fields is Drogo. Nerchio getting by right away. If he can kill this blink, that would be absolutely horrific for Drogo. Drogo is right now holding on. More links coming in though, and Nerchio trying to overpower. Only 1 cannon helping out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just, you know, enough here for our Zerg units streaming across the map. Now PtitDrogo in a move of desperation walls off the natural completely. He knows he has to hold this third base, so everything going into this, though we have the Mutalisks on the way, adding in the +1 fly attacks to complement this as well. So now at this point, Drogo, he has Blink finished. If this +2 can finish up, it's going to give him somewhat of a fighting chance to try to combat those Mutalisks, but it's going to be extremely difficult.
It truly is, and right now Nerchio with so many mutas, he saved up so much gas. Roach is not gas intensive, Link's not gas intensive, and the Stalker's right now falling left and right. Although Nerchio losing a lot of units, this is absolutely worth it. And well, into the main base goes the mutas, not much at home to defend with.
A single cannon.
That's not going to do anything, man.
Not enough. And these roaches still stand, so he can swing around, hit the right side of the third base. He has a 4th base, got up to 8 gas. Here the mutas have revealed they're focusing down this cannon right away. And there's a recall, and you know what? Well, you leave your third, and that's where I'm gonna go, says Nerchio. And now look at this, he's swinging right in, forces a few stalkers to be warped in, but the single cannon, what's that gonna do?
Yeah, it's even going to be focused down very smartly here by Nerchio. He knows he's going to be attacking back and forth a lot here, focusing down at those workers. Very nice from Nerchio. Execution, very well done. It goes into the natural because they are so close on this map. Nothing you can do as Drogo, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see this poor fella GG out soon.
It's looking very harsh here. You know, he's losing so many workers. Has like maintained a decent counter because he's adding in more, but behind this we have a great economy running for Nerchio, and
he's streaming in. Yeah.
Still, these Blink Stalkers, of course, hard to directly engage with this sort of army, but still, with a lot of support from Zerglings and you know, units like that on the ground, it's going to be very difficult. Drogo, though, with that +2, of course, does help.
Now Nerchio is up to over 80 workers. He attacks right into these Stalkers, and well, Drogo having an increasingly more difficult time. There we go, GG from Drogo. Nerchio taking that first game in this series. And remember, everyone, one of these players is going to be eliminated. It's either Drogo or Nerchio.
Nerchio, you know, he's on his way to stay in this. Man, that looked very hard for Drogo. Took a lot of damage, and he had such an opportunity there to just kill that third base. And we see how important, you know, it was that it was alive there. If he would have killed that hatchery, it would have was Nerchio on a much weaker economy. Wouldn't be able to churn out, you know, even a third as much. In terms of units. So I don't really understand why he didn't just use that single zealot or get off an additional stalker shot or anything really to not kill it, because he ended up just sacrificing all of those units, trading units for units, which is just always bad for the Protoss when you're stuck on such a low economy.
Yeah, but of course hindsight is always 20/20, as we all know. So it might have been just a small mistake. He knows exactly what we know, that probably he thought he was going to get the third for sure, so he didn't. He felt that he's going to get every single unit he can from it.
Try to pick up as much as possible.
Maybe even miscontrolling, maybe just A-moving. It does happen, but it seems like both are ready. We have everyone in the lobby. We are getting ready for the second map, Catallena, everyone, and of course we have Nerchio 1 game up, and that was, I have to say, that style that he just used, absolutely love it.
It's really strong. Very hard to deal with for Protoss.
And not really used too much in the European region, I would say. Especially with these really high-tier players.
Yeah, most definitely. But you know, guys, as you can see, we are loading in right now to our second map. So, without further delay... Whoa!
Oh, that's us. Hey, everyone! We're going to the map ASAP.
There we go.
There we go.
Now everything is as it should be. And our first player here, currently up by 1 game. He is from Team Acer, and he is Nerchio. And his opponent, the Red Protoss, spawning in the 12 o'clock position on Catallena, playing for Nuit Blanche. He is PtitDrogo.
So, okay, Drogo last game, a very valiant attempt. I just want to highlight once again the big difference between getting that third and not, because how close he was. It's such a huge difference, because although he whoops in so many units, if you get the third, you can go back home, you can still get a bit of delayed third yourself, you can set up, you can even go for Soul Train if you have a robo behind it, depending on what you did go for, but if you don't kill it, that means suddenly Nerchio has units out that he's going to counterattack with and keep you from getting a third, as well as the triple drone production they otherwise would not have.
Yeah, it really ended up hurting him. Drogo, that is. He didn't just finish his business. So this game, if he ever lands up in that situation again, I think he's going to make sure to seal the deal, not take any risks like that, like we saw there in game number 1 on Overgrowth. Now he's going to scout the wrong position, Nerchio likewise, with his first Overlord. And now maybe Drogo will realize, like, wait, the Overlord is coming from the wrong spot. There we go. Just instantly turns around, and now he's going to head in the right direction towards Nerchio's main.
I do want to point out as well that Nerchio going still in with his Overlord to the main base is not because he didn't see that probe. He actually did, if you did pay attention to the selection of the Overlord. But he knows that it's very easy to fake otherwise, you not being there. So he wants to absolutely make sure he doesn't miss the base. And if you know, Drogo was trying to do something very sneaky, maybe hiding a gateway, a few gateways, or going for very early gas, for instance. So you know, I like this kind of detail from Nerchio. Lesser player would right away send his Overlord, trying to underestimate his opponent, which would have paid off in this case, but you never know.
You know, a lot of things, of course, can happen in StarCraft. Drogo now is going to opt in to go for the quicker Warp Gate in favor of the faster Nexus, and of course going Warp Gate over any sort of additional tech will slow that down further. Sort of feels as if he wants to be aggressive just because of how he's rushing out that Warp Gate.
Yeah, it does delay the Nexus a bit, so it's not the most economic of openings.
No, you can definitely go more economically focused. Now we'll have to see, of course, though, does Nerchio, or I mean Drogo decide to chrono into that Warp Gate or not? That's going to be a deciding factor here in if he wants to be looking to be very aggressive or not.
Yeah, we'll see. Very nice micro so far by Nerchio. Loses a Ling though.
And Drogo as well, you know, keeping that pylon alive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's quite difficult to do that kind of pull back micro every time, and this time Drogo was just microing a bit too intensively for Nerchio to get a pylon or so, but it was just 4 Lings. No problem with that, of course, for Nerchio. Third base going down now for him, and he's going to just try to crank out as many drones as possible. We see him having that. Actually, no, sorry, no gases whatsoever, and his speed is quite late. So let's see if he does what he did last time, getting that 6-minute 1 gas, which is really unorthodox, or if he just goes for the 5:30 double gas, which should be right now.
Yeah, you know, we're right at that mark. However, though, Drogo, man, he's going to do the exact same build as he did in game number 1, and it is going to be the full gate off of 2 Nexi, or Nexuses, actually. Does see it with the Overlord, though. Pylon has gone down. Do not believe that Nerchio has got eyes on this. But, you know, I think he's at a bit of a... He's like has 5 drones less than he did on Overgrowth now. And it's not super big, but of course it is beneficial here for Drogo to keep Nerchio on as much as a low economy as possible.
Yeah, and of course this time though he doesn't force the second pylon, he's not going to be annoying before this push happens, but a very nicely timed Roach Warren might just save him. He's not getting those extra workers they talked about, and even a Spine Crawler already started a bit easier now as well with this creep to defend his third base. And let's see if Nerchio can wrap around here, trying to force maybe a force field or 2.
Yeah, you know, the Lings pulling up the Zealots onto the high ground.
Oh, don't want to fight it.
No, losing a lot of time, really. Drogo, that is. Because Nerchio right now, still on a very low drone count. Making a few roaches. There is 2 force fields here for Drogo as well. So if he decides to push that ramp, he could trap a queen or two. Maybe he decides to go right into the third base because, like I said, he can control that ramp, and that would be a very important location there to hold. But still, no additional proxy pylon on the right-hand side of that third base is going to be very, very important here, because then he can't really reinforce.
The Mother's Call goes down, and we see more warpings coming in from Drogo. He does not want to stop this aggression, but all these sentries are going down with the Spine Crawler and those roaches as well. Every single Zealot is going down. This is not looking too good for Drogo whatsoever, and he's just going to have to run back home. But I guess this kind of accepting not a permanent defeat, but a temporary at least.
Yeah, Drogo warping in a few Stalkers. This feels sort of like a move in desperation. He's back to probing, and likewise, Nerchio back to droning. Now Drogo adds up, goes up to a total of 4 gas. And from this we'll see if he decides to attempt a third base, which will be very hard to take. Or if he decides to go for, say, Blink. Sort of feels like it, because generally the go-to build for Protoss that are down after failed 2-base attack like that.
Well, we will see. He does add in that Forge. No Robo yet, no Twilight yet. More gases coming down for Nerchio. And, well, Drogo is just going to hold tight. Let's see how good those force fields are, because if we see a few units being trapped, that will be a very nice little pick-off for Drogo. But of course, you have to watch out. You don't want to lose anything, and you can't let too many units in. You can actually see Nerchio right now focusing down the gateway.
Yeah, that's going to be very annoying. You know, we'll force you another force field. Slow down the production here from Drogo as well. Lair on the way and more drones being added. Oh, force field there, not doing enough. Does lose the sentry anyway, which is 100 gas. And, you know, very annoying. Does break down the gateway. So he can maybe attempt to go for the swing in, but decides not to here.
A few too many Stalkers.
Yeah, doesn't want to overcommit.
But Lair is about to finish a very nice timed Lair, thinking of it was a 4-gate. Nerchio really just denying that initial pressure. And now it looks like Drogo will try to get away with an early third base, but it is going to be scouted. And he's adding in the +1, more gateways. The question is it a Robo or Twilight we're going to see?
Yeah, that
or just 5-star gates.
Oh, well, something. Yeah, could go like could maybe try to go for the triple. But I truly don't see that working out. I mean, gas being invested into the +1 here. Going to be impossible to hold a third Nexus if he wants to go for any sort of super late Stargate play here around the 11-minute mark. Not really a viable follow-up to the kind of build he opened with. So, like, most likely going to be Twilight for Blink on that Robo to go into Bay and then Colossus production.
Well, Nerchio setting up for that spy play right away.
Once again, man, it's going to be the 3-base Mutalisk. And with this, you know, of course, the Zerglings and Roaches and stuff like that on the ground.
You can even get that 4th base a bit delayed. And, of course, get away with it very easily because
I mean,
of your mobile army.
Yeah, no way, really, for Drogo to deny it. He's moving out here, going to try to clean up some creep, which, of course, is good. But there's no way for him to detect it, really. There's a lot of sentries and a recall available.
But very little DPS, I feel.
Gonna... Oh yeah, that's actually true. Sentries, you know, not the most bulky of units. There we go. The recall does go down because Drogo realizes, wait, where's your army? And it's right outside the third base here of our Protoss. So Nerchio now is going to look for a break into the natural, perhaps. Gets a couple of probes, a few sentries and zealots warped in, even a cannon added in here. Decent force fields go down in for Drogo, so he's going to be able to isolate a couple of these units. Very nice. Does give away a sentry. Another set of good force fields there. Will trap some of these roaches, but Zerglings streaming in from the high ground here in the third base. Needs to be very careful. No photon overcharge to help out for Drogo, and the roaches are closing the gap right now.
Yeah, a lot of units are going down right now for Drogo. Seems like Nerchio doesn't really have enough to clean this all up, but he does have enough to kill most of those sentries and a lot of stalkers. There's not too much of an army left for Drogo, and that means he has to be very careful at this point. We saw that Nerchio was down quite heavily in workers, but now he's going to be very happy at 70. He's going to get his 4th, which we talk about. A bit delayed, but very nice still to have, especially in this kind of wonky, scrappy scenario. And Drogo now needs to defend his natural, but a few too many roaches, and soon enough, Mutus again.
Yeah, look at this, by the way. How Nerchio, you know, very smartly sort of isolating to keep Drogo stuck in the third base area, because as soon as he leaves that, Nerchio's just going to move in there, pick up a couple of drones or probes, and if he's not careful, might even end up losing the Nexus. But now we have these first Mutas out, and this army here for Drogo, man, it's pretty much just it's not going to do anything. Here we go, the Mutalisks come in, 3 Stalkers being warped in, but that's it. He realizes there's no chance, and that's going to be GG. And Nerchio will be our 3rd player, advancing on to join both Snoot and Naniwa in the round of 32 in the main event of the Kung Fu Cup.
Yeah, I mean, great series from all our players, but of course, some managed to get through a bit stronger than others, perhaps.
That's how it is.
But, you know, I have to say, I have to really give it to Nerchio. Wonderful play 2 times in a row now with the same style we saw from Sort Of. So, Snoot, Naniwa, Nerchio, a good first lineup. From the previous qualifier, we saw Betrayers, we saw Bunny, and we saw Marine Lord coming out. And of course, a lot of Koreans came out, 6 of them, from the different 2 qualifiers.
Yeah.
Still have 2 left, though, everyone. It's going to be the North American one coming out the 8th of March, and the 9th of March is going to be the SEA region.
Southeast Asia.
And Taiwan, of course.
Yeah, have to include that. But, you know, guys, so really, it's been a pleasure. We've, you know, been casting very intensely these past days.
We have.
Yeah, it's been a blast, though. You know, really enjoyed it, and we've run it here, of course, from the amazing Cruxel Studios in Stockholm, Sweden. So, of course, go show him some love on Twitter. Go like him on Facebook. There we have him, as you can see.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah, man, he works really hard. Does all of this possible just because of him.
Yeah, I mean, you really should follow him and check out his studio. This is all him fixing for us.
You need anything in terms of production.
Oh yeah,
this is your man.
If you need to fix up your like gaming production, if you're gonna have a big event and you think you need some professional production, absolutely do go check him out. You can see him in the info below.
Yeah.
Here on Twitch, you can also check him out on Twitter. He's gonna send you a Twitter link probably later on,
or you can just go, you know, !studio.
Actually, yeah, you can now because we fixed that command.
Yeah, but you know, to just conclude, really, if you like what you see here, guys, please go ahead and hit that follow button here on Esports Heaven.
You can also follow us on Twitter, of course. We're very sociable, as we said before.
We are quite nice.
At least I am.
Yeah, you're quite nice.
I'm quite nice.
We'll have to see, you know.
Yeah.
But so thank you very much to all of you guys watching, supporting the stream, and the players. You all make this possible. It's been absolutely lovely, and you know what? We're gonna have a break now for a couple of days, and I've been looking forward to it. But you know, like you said, we'll be back on the 8th and the 9th to bring you 2 more qualifiers out of the Kung Fu Cup
at 3 AM, by the way, 8th. So
yeah,
make sure to check it on TL so you don't miss it out, because it's the middle of the night for Europe.
Yeah, 3 AM for us in on this side of the Big Blue, and back over in America for you guys it's gonna be like 6 PM. But you know, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching us here on Esports Heaven.
It's been fantastic. I just want to say, actually, we had so many people coming in.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have, you know, the highest expectations for pure online cup, you know.
There's a lot running right now, but we're very happy about all of you guys coming in here watching us. So thank you very much for watching, and you know what? We'll be back on the 8th and the 9th. Make sure to tune back in then. Otherwise, I've been Tenshi from Team Property.
And I've been Swag. Thank you everyone who's been watching. We'll see you later. Take care.